Well, good Wednesday morning from the Oklahoman's video studio. I'm Dave Morris here with another episode of the Rescue Rundown. Happy to be joined by Central Oklahoma Humane Society President and CEO, Susana Della Maddalena. Good morning.
Thank you.
It's great to have you again. We had you on episode 6 and we're getting close to episode 30. So first of all, thank you to you and to Abby and to Francis and everybody involved for participating with us over the weeks. We certainly appreciate it. And ladies and gentlemen, it's puppy and kitten season. What does that mean in your world?
Well, this is the time of year when we see a lot of puppies and kittens coming into the city shelter. As the weather warms up and breeding cycles get going, you're going to see a big influx of kittens and also puppies as well.
And you have a puppy joining us this morning. Who do we have here?
I do. This is Susie. She's 5 weeks old. She's a purebred boxer puppy, and she'll be ready.
How adorable she is. Yeah. I say that every week when you guys bring in puppies and kittens, but seriously, look at how adorable she is.
She's got a little cold, so she's snuffling a little bit, but she'll be ready for adoption in about 3 weeks, and she's part of our new bottle baby program.
We're going to talk all about that in just a second, but you mentioned she's a 5-week-old purebred boxer puppy. Do you guys get many purebreds? What's the percentage there?
Yeah, about 20 to 25% of the dogs that come into the shelter are purebreds. So if you're looking for a purebred, you should always consider, going to the shelter or come to the Humane Society.
And you say she'll be on the market, so to speak, in about 3 weeks.
About 3
I'm
weeks.
assuming she'll go pretty fast, right?
I would think so. And her sister's gorgeous too, and her mom is lovely and sweet. So I think all of them will make great pets.
Well, tell me about the bottle program. Originally, we had talked last week about bringing in a kitten or a little puppy for me to bottle feed, which would have probably been a complete disaster, but it's a little bit involved, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite a process.
Not to scare people off.
Yeah, it's quite a process. You've got to fill a bottle, you've got to warm the formula, you've got to feed them, which can take anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, depending on how hungry they are. And then at the end, if they don't have mom with them, you have to stimulate them to poop or pee because they won't do it on their own.
See, that's the key I didn't know about going into this, but, we would have ended the episode before that for sure.
So we decided to spare you that today.
Well, I appreciate that. Just looking out for me, I appreciate that. But the bottle program is significant, and there's the foster element to that, right?
Sure. The bottle program is something that we just started. We're calling it our bottle baby program. And it's really for kittens and puppies that come into the shelter at 8 weeks of age or under. Actually under 8 weeks of age, and they can come in as orphans or they can come in with a mom and litter mates. And what we want to do is get them out of the shelter because they don't have the immune systems to survive it.
Gotcha.
And so it's really important to get them out. And so if they come in with a mom, they're going to go out to foster with mom. Actually, Susie and her mom and her sister are with me. And if they are not, if they come in as orphans, we are going to actually bottle feed them until they're old enough to eat on their own.
How does Susie do with the bottle?
She's okay with it.
Sounds like you said 8 weeks, so it sounds like she's about off.
She's starting to eat food, and she's still nursing with mom, so she'd much rather have mom than a bottle. Yeah.
But other people can get involved in this program, and you're offering training, right?
We are. We're going to be announcing soon training to train people how to bottle feed and care for probably the orphans that come in who need that bottle feeding. And it can be, depending on the age, you may have to feed them as frequently as every hour and a half or 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. We'll get them in as young as 3 or 4 days old sometimes. They
eat as often as I do.
Yeah.
Now, the bottle baby bottle program here, is that just for the foster program, or can people come in and maybe volunteer, spend some time with you guys?
Yeah, we will be having volunteer opportunities as we just started the program and we just started pulling babies, and so we're a little early in it, but we will have volunteer opportunities, and certainly we'll be training people to bottle feed if they want to do that and take babies home to feed them.
Let's back up just a second. We have talked before about the foster program at the Central Oklahoma Humane Society, but Susana, maybe you can kind of give us an overview and the parts of that you guys are proud of and why it's important to what you do.
Well, we couldn't do what we do without our foster homes. We're constantly recruiting new fosters because we take about 70% of our dogs and cats from the city shelter, and because we're an unsheltered organization, we have our little adoption center on Western. We need those dogs and sometimes cats to go into a foster home for about 3 weeks. And after that, they'll come to the adoption center and get adopted. But we wouldn't be able to place the number of pets. Last year, we placed almost 3,700 dogs and cats into new homes. And, our fosters are just critical to helping us do that.
So how does a person get involved with your foster program?
You can actually go to our website, okhumane.org. You can sign up on a form, and you will be contacted by our foster coordinator, who will then bring you in for training and get you set up.
And what are some of the things that you guys look for in a prospective foster environment?
We really just want someone who is capable and willing to take a pet into their home for 3 weeks. We generally recommend that you crate train during that time period, so depending on the size of the dog or cat, you can either live in an apartment, or if you've got a larger home, that's nice as well. But you're going to keep these guys in your home in a crate during the day when you're not home, and then for about 3 weeks before we'll put them in the adoption center.
Wow, very cool. One other talking point here. What if we see a stray kitten in the neighborhood wandering around? Should we bring that in? Is there something we should be looking out for? Any tips on that?
Sure. A lot of the kittens that are brought into the shelter this time of year are actually born out on the streets. We may have as many as 100,000 free-roaming cats in Oklahoma City.
Wow.
You don't see them often. You might be more likely to see them at night. But sometimes people will see litters of kittens and they won't see mom around, and so they'll think we need to take them into the shelter. Mom is probably around. She's probably just out looking for food. So what we recommend is, if you see a litter of kittens, keep an eye on them. If you don't see any sight of mom, during the day or at night, then go ahead and bring them in. But otherwise, leave them, because they're best off with mom, and they'll just grow up, and they will grow up and become part of the free-roaming cat population.
I've mentioned this to Abby before on previous episodes. That's how I wound up with 2 cats, is a mom and a small little powder puff of a kitten wandered into the backyard 7 years ago. Same thing. The little one was still nursing. The mom was basically looking for food or someone to take them in, which, I did. So that's this exact scenario that you're talking about there.
Well, and if you can trap them and bring them into our spay and neuter clinic, we actually offer a $5 surgery cost for free-roaming cats and the kittens that are old enough to be spayed or neutered. So what we really want to do is, unfortunately we can't get all of them off the street, but we would like to bring them in and get them sterilized, and then we're going to do a little tip on the top of their ear so that you can tell they're sterilized, and that way we can reduce the population of free-roaming cats.
I suppose at this point we should talk about spaying and neutering and the importance of that.
Yeah, I mean, this time of year we see so many kittens and puppies coming into the shelter, and they're really a product of not spaying and neutering your pet. Molly, Susie's mom, came in because her owners didn't want her. She had puppies and they didn't want her, and they could have prevented that. Of course, these guys are gorgeous, but she could have prevented that. They could have prevented that by spaying her. We offer great pricing at our spay and neuter clinic. We have frequent promotions. You can always go to our website to find out where the clinic is located, and then call and make an appointment.
Well, as we led off this episode by saying it's kitten and puppy season, and you had Puppy Day yesterday. What was that, and how did it go?
We had a special day for puppies. We had 23 puppies in the adoption center, including 6 Bichon Pug puppies. And we had people lining up in front of the adoption center at about 7 o'clock in the morning. We didn't open till 11.
Oh,
and
wow.
We had a very busy day. I believe we probably got all of the puppies adopted.
And those 6 went pretty fast?
The 6 went pretty fast. We actually put a photo of them up on our Facebook page, and we got 11,000 new followers just because everybody shared their photos because they were so cute.
I bet.
Yeah.
Well, Susie, 5 weeks old, purebred boxer puppy. She doesn't know what to make of this. She's kind of looking around. You can tell a little bit there in the camera angle. She's got the little claws anchored in. Susanna, as always, we appreciate you guys stopping in. It's wonderful to talk with you guys every week. Thanks for the information, for bringing in the cute dogs and cats for our cameras. We certainly appreciate that, and best of luck with everything moving forward.
Thank you. We always encourage everyone to consider adopting a pet if they're looking, and please spay or neuter your pet, because it will really help us with the huge population of animals that enter our city shelter.
She's Susanna Della Maddalena, CEO and President of the Central Oklahoma Humane Society. More information can be found on their website at okhumane.org. You guys have a great week, all right?
Thank you. You too.